really do love my little stand that I made. Oh my gosh, it just looks so amazing. So I totally forgot about this, but I had ordered another hardback, KDB hardback, that one, but I actually redid the cover, and I put a lot of thought in it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should try a different cover. So I have two KDP hardbacks coming in the end of this month. I think they're going to be coming the end of this week, like around Thanksgiving. And I totally forgot about those two orders. I was supposed to went to the bank and put money in, but I'm just really excited to see the new cover for this one here. And I changed the cover for this one. Wait, hold on. How do I do it? This one? Oh. This one? This one, I changed the cover because there wasn't enough color in it. So I was just like, I think I need to add more color to it. So that's what I did. I'm trying to figure out when I should do the live unboxing. I'm not really sure because today is the 22nd, I think. Let me look. Yes. Okay, so today's the 22nd. So the books, they said the books were going to be here between the 26th and the 29th. Okay, if it's Thanksgiving, then they're probably not going to be here. So they'll just come whenever they get here, because I'm doing live readings on the 24th and the 26th. But if they come, I am going to turn my live on and I'm going to open them because I'm really excited to see. So I'm doing, hey. No. I'm doing I redid the special edition for Just the Wish, hardback. And then the other one, oh my gosh, I am like so excited. I'm probably going to end up changing the cover again. If I don't like it, then I don't know if I'm going to show you guys, but I don't know. I already said it, so I guess I'm going to have to show you guys now. But I'm just really, really excited to finally have a hardback. This cover I do like a lot. I do like that cover a lot, but it's the exact same design and everything, except the background, I added more color to it. That's the only thing. Like, I didn't really change the cover. It's not black and white. It has color. So, anyways, I am going to be doing another live reading of Awakened Evil. We are practically almost done. Look how much we have left. Right here. This is how much we have. We're on chapter 39. And there's 55 chapters altogether. When we finish the book, there's a short story in the back from Gina's point of view. Or no, wait, hold on. Wait. Never mind. Or wait, yeah, it is. Never mind. Okay, so the short story in the back, it's really long. This is how long it is. That's how thick it is right there. Can you guys see that? That's how thick it is. I'm going to do like part 1 and part 2. Hi, Batman. Hey. Hi. I guess you gonna turn around? Hey, you gonna say hi to everybody? Batman. Hey. Hi. Hi, handsome. Wait, watch my coffee. Are you gonna say hi? Huh? Look. Oh, okay. So anyways, if you're new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And I'm Ashley Lovell, and I'm the author of the Keeper of Souls series, The Wish, Awakened Evil, Wicked Curse, and Mystical. which I am so excited to start these next. I can't wait. I had so much fun doing these 2 books. Oh my gosh. I already miss the series. Like, the series ended, let me look. Okay, let me see. Oh, come on, where is it? Where is it? Batman, where is it? I think this one I finished this summer. So now I'm working on the Sword of the Realm series, which it is a fantasy adventure series. And it is about a girl that is in 8th grade, and she ends up becoming the guardian to a ring that has special powers, and she has to go find this sword, and she ends up becoming the guardian of it. So now I'm working on the 2nd book, which is called Metamorphoses, which I am really, really excited to reveal the cover for Metamorphoses. I don't want to reveal it like just yet because I'm not completely done. What I like to do is I like to do like the first draft or the second draft of each book that I write, and then I will do like the book cover reveal. That's what I like to do. I do sometimes will give hints to my readers or to my followers and say like I'm working away on this fantasy adventure. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to read it or whatever. So I probably will reveal the cover for the hardback of Guardian, which I already got it designed and done. I just need to order a hardback for that, which I'm so excited. I cannot wait to do that. So anyways, we are going to be reading chapter 39 out of Awakened Evil. I went to Scooters with Candy. We got back and I was hurrying over here to get my live reading. It's a mocha and it's really good. Okay, let's get started. This chapter is long. I think I said last time. So this is like 9 pages, and then we have a shorter chapter that I'm going to read after, which is chapter 40. Okay, this is chapter 39 from Awakened Evil. Okay, when it was time to pick Johanna up from school, Madison and Richie got in his truck and headed to the school. Once they arrived, parents were already there. Madison and Richie got out and entered the school. They walked down the short hallway and stopped by Johanna's classroom. At a table, Johanna was coloring until she glanced up. She smiled big and ran over to him. "Richie!" Richie pulled her up into a hug. "Hey, Johanna." "Hi. Go get your stuff, okay?" She ran across the room to her bag. This is the interesting part that I really, really enjoyed. Johanna's teacher, Mrs. Collins, came over. "I need to show you something." She led him across the room to her desk, while Madison helped Johanna put stuff in her bag. "Madison, look what I drew today." She held it up so close to Madison's face she could smell the paint. She moved it back to get a better view and looked at it. "I did it." "Did you draw all these butterflies?" "Oh no," she said, "I like it. Did you draw all these butterflies?" Mrs. Collins helped me. "Whoa, I like the pond and the trees in the back." She pointed to the other stick figure. "Who's this, Johanna? You?" "No, silly, that's me with the long yellow hair, and that's my friend with the dark hair." Madison took another look and saw that he was wearing a doublet with a fitted jacket over a shirt and breeches. Madison put it in her bag and zipped it shut. She saw a table full of drawings. The kids must have done them today. Johanna loved to draw. That was all she ever did, at home or at school. I think you need to see this. Mrs. Collins grabbed a drawing from the desk. The class had a chance to draw what they thought the future would be like. She handed Richie the drawing, and this is what Johanna drew. Madison stepped closer to look. There were two women standing across from each other, with flames along the ground in front of the other woman. The sky was black with birds that had red eyes and large wings. Richie covered his mouth in disbelief, then rubbed the back of his neck. How many more are of these? 5 total. Richie rubbed his face, then glanced behind him and saw Madison holding Johanna on her hip. She picked each one up and handed them to him. Every picture was different. One had 2 stick people walking in the woods. Another had a stick adult kneeling down with the woman in front of him, with her arms up in the air. Another had 2 stick people tied to a pole with a crowd of more stick people around them, with torches in their hands and modern-day weapons. The last one had a red-skinned creature with horns on its head and down its shoulders. In its arms was a smaller person as it walked towards a door of some kind. I think it's best if we call your mom and dad. Yes, Richie nodded. I will tell them. He folded the pictures in half and stuck them in his pocket. Thank you. Richie walked over and took Johanna from Madison. Ready? Yeah. They both headed out to the truck, then set Johanna in the car seat in the back. She pointed to a reading book that stuck out of her bag. Richie searched for it and set it on her lap. He closed the door, walked around the truck to the driver's seat, and got in. Madison climbed into the passenger seat and closed the door. The thought of the drawings still stuck on her mind. Once they arrived home, the 3 of them headed outside in the backyard. It was such a nice day, she didn't want to waste it. Does your mom know about what you told me earlier? No. Well, you have to tell her. No way, Richie. I'm not telling my mom. She's going through enough right now. Madison, you have to tell somebody. I told you. That's why I came over here in the first place. I needed to tell somebody. I couldn't hold it in anymore. He held her tight. I'm sorry. Johanna played with the 2 dolls and tea set. 2 teddy bears sat across from each other. If a witch really did kill Keegan, I want to know why. I need to tell you something. I think there's something going on with Johanna. She took one look at Johanna, then back at Richie. What do you mean? When I go pick her up from school and come home, if I'm not in the room, I hear her talking to somebody else. I go to check and I don't see anyone else. Richie, all little kids her age have imaginary playmates. She doesn't have any little brothers or sisters. She shook his head. It continues on. She told me what his name was. Richie, you're scaring me. I know. I'm scared too, for Johanna. Madison looked over at Johanna and watched her play with the teacups, pretending to drink it. I think something followed us from the house, Madison whispered. What house? The house in the woods and my house. You went back to your house? He asked. Yes, Richie, I went back to my house. And I did bring something. You did what? Madison Rayland Swisher. You're not supposed to take anything from a crime scene. I thought you said homicide. Crime scene, suicide, homicide, it doesn't matter. You can go to jail. Not if they don't know or catch me first. They both went into the house as Johanna ran into the living room and sat down at her coloring table. She pulled the box out and placed it on the table between them. Oh my gosh, it's getting exciting. Richie's eyes widened and his face grew pale. Why did you bring a Ouija board from the house, Maddie? I found it in Keegan's room in the back closet. Keegan's room. He glanced at Johanna, then back at Madison. If my mom comes home and sees this, she will freak the hell out. Put it back in your bag and take it back to the house. She's not going to see it because she's with my mom having coffee. Why do you have it? I want answers. What answers do you think you need to know? We need to know why the witch killed our brothers and who the two little girls are that I keep seeing in my nightmares. I started to see the two little girls when we went to the house out in the woods. They might be connected to the house somehow. She opened the box and set the board between them on the table. She put the heart-shaped planchette in the middle of the board and glanced at Richie. Put your hand on the planchette, Richie. He grabbed the lid to the box and covered the board. Madison, we can't do this. But we have to. Not with Johanna here. She'll get scared. Then take her upstairs for a nap. Richie walked into the living room, picked her up, and headed upstairs. What game are you playing? I want to play. He lifted her into his arms and said, It's not for you. After Richie went upstairs, Madison stared at the Ouija board and wondered who would come through. Her dad? Keegan? The witch? A few minutes later, he came back down and stood by the table with crossed arms. Madison gestured at his chair and waited. He rolled his eyes and sighed, then sat down. I hope you know what you're doing. What's that supposed to mean? Ouija boards are bad news, and anybody that doesn't believe in them are naive. Come on, nothing bad is going to happen. And besides, she slid her hand past the Ouija board and grabbed his hand. You'll protect me, right? Of course I would. He squeezed her hand, then rubbed the back of his neck. Madison and Richie placed their fingers on the lobes of the planchette. See how easy was that? Ha ha, real funny. She straightened her back and released a breath. Is there anyone in this room that wants to communicate with us? Within seconds, the planchette slid across the board to yes. Richie and Madison stared at each other with wide eyes. You moved it. No, I didn't, Richie. Did you? No. You swear you're not causing it? He stared at her. I never moved it. Okay then. If we both didn't move it, then who did? She didn't know what to say or think at this point. A sudden feeling crept through her body that she wasn't alone. Something was in the room communicating with them. But who? Madison. What? I could see her breath. All the hairs on her arms and the back of her neck stood on end. The lights above the table flickered as Madison and Richie looked up then stared back at each other. What's happening? Whatever you do, do not take your fingers off the planchette. Why? Richie asked. Madison glanced around the room then back at the Ouija board. What's your name? Ouch. The planchette rotated to different letters. It spelled out two names. M-A-R-G-A-R-E-T. Margaret. E-L-I-N-O-R. Eleanor. A sick feeling settled in the pit of her stomach. Margaret and Eleanor? Richie questioned. Who are they? Why were you at the house in the woods? A few seconds passed by and nothing happened. Richie stared at Madison. Where did they go? Suddenly, the planchette slowly circled the board. Then the speed picked up. Then it flew across the board to the edge of the table and stopped. It balanced itself on the edge of the table. Madison covered her mouth with both hands. She sat there, stiff as a board. Did that really just happen? The planchette moved across the table and back onto the Ouija board. Madison stood up and backed away from the table with round eyes. Her lower back stopped at the edge of the counter. The planchette moved to one letter at a time. She peered closer and saw that it was spelling out another name. Henry. Henry. Why are you scaring us? Suddenly, the board and the planchette flew off the table and slammed against the front door. Madison screamed and clutched onto Richie's arm for support. Within seconds, the door opened. It was Richie's mom, and Madison's mom. For a second, she forgot they were spending the day together, but then it all came back to her. Fabia set her purse on the table and said, "Hi, Madison." Madison's mom closed the door. "It's about time you came around here." "Hi, Fabia. Good to see you too." "What have you been up to?" Madison's mom said, looking at her. Fabia took a step forward and her foot hit the board. She glanced down and smiled. "What game are you both playing?" She picked it up, then turned it over and stared at it. It didn't take long until all the color drained from her face. Madison's mom looked the same and stared at her. "What the hell are you doing with this in my house?" She slammed it on the table and stared at Madison then Richie. Madison didn't know what to say. She should have never brought the board over to the house, especially with Johanna in the living room. Something bad might have gone wrong. What was I thinking? Fabia pointed at the board. "You shouldn't be playing with this. All you're going to get is bad from it. I don't want this in my house. Get it out." "But Mom, we're trying to find answers." "Don't mom me, Richie," she said in a stern voice. "Get it out." She stormed up the staircase, tense as can be. Madison's mom followed her. "Fabia, please wait." Her mom stopped on the last step and looked right at her like, "Are you happy now?" She then turned and went upstairs. Richie stared back at Madison, then the board. "See, I told you, but she is right. Let's just put it away." He picked the board up off the table and placed it in the box, then set it outside on a high shelf in the garage where his mom or dad couldn't see it. After Richie came back into the kitchen, Madison stared at him, then looked away. He pulled her into a hug. She let her head rest on his chest and wrapped both arms around him, as if she needed a friend. "I'm sorry, Richie. You were right. I should have never took it back to the house. It's okay. No damage was done. Nobody was hurt. Just upset is all." Madison felt bad that she did bring it into the house with Johanna there. If something did happen to her, she would have felt terrible. She followed Richie into the living room and sat on the couch next to him. Richie held his hand. Silence grew between them. The Ouija board remained in her thoughts and what had happened. She needed to know more about Margaret and Eleanor. There wasn't enough information to understand why they were around her and what they wanted. How are they connected to the house, and where did they come from? Richie's touch brought her back to reality. She smiled back at him. He dropped a kiss on the side of her forehead. You okay? I feel bad that I upset your mom. Maybe I should leave. You don't have to leave. He smiled and leaned towards her until Johanna came downstairs, rubbing both eyes. She stopped by the couch and climbed onto Richie's lap. She wrapped both arms around his neck and rested her head on his shoulder. Hey, did you sleep well? She nodded. Guess who came and visited me in my dream? Who? She lifted her head and smiled. Terrence, she said with a smile. Madison's smile faded, then stared at Richie. He looked just as shocked. What? She smiled and nodded. He says hi, and she pushed her hair from her face. He loves you and misses every day. Will I see him again? Richie's mom and Madison's mom came downstairs side by side. We'll be back in an hour. Madison got up. Fabia, wait. She walked over and stopped. It's not Richie's fault about the Ouija board. It's my fault. I brought it here. I just wanted to try it out. What? Madison's mom asked, stepping past Fabia. You brought a Ouija board behind my back? No, Mom, I didn't buy it. Where did you get it, then, if it's not yours? She hesitated, then spoke. I found it in the house. It's Keegan's. When did you go get it? Today. You found a Ouija board that was Keegan's in the house? Yes. Her mom's face grew pale, and she rubbed the bridge of her nose. Oh, my God. You're not supposed to take things from a crime scene. Madison's mom walked out the front door. Fabia looked at Richie. Did you know about this? What? Keegan having a Ouija board? No. I didn't know about it. It wouldn't surprise me because he always read about that stuff. Madison, thank you for being honest. I don't like those things. I never want to see it ever again in my house. Okay. Richie's mom hugged her and then left. Madison sat down at the kitchen table as Richie walked over to the desk, grabbed the camera, and sat back down. Well, we know who the two little girls are now, and who killed Keegan. She shrugged. Maybe Terrence too, she said softly so Johanna couldn't hear. You haven't used that camera in a while. I know. He tilted the camera to see the buttons and pressed the power switch. I want to show these pictures of Johanna to you. Madison took the camera, thinking nothing of it, and clicked through the pictures. They were of Johanna with orbs hovering around her. Her jaw dropped and she stared at Richie. He said nothing and nodded. She clicked to the next one. It was a video of Johanna running around in the backyard. Jeez. Oh my gosh, that scared the crap out of me. Oh my gosh, that really scared me. Batman, you scared the crap out of me. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta figure out where I was. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, let me look. Okay, a white orb was moving around her as if it was playing with her. After Madison watched it, she grabbed hers out of the bag and turned it on. Clicking through the pictures of the house, there were white orbs by the staircase, in the hallway, and in Keegan's room. She turned it around to show Richie. I think Keegan and Terrence was with me. Henry knows, Johanna said, as she colored in the book at her little table. Madison and Richie stared at each other in shock. A chill sent tingles through Madison's body. She followed Richie into the living room and sat down on the couch. Henry knows Olivia, Madison said. Johanna nodded and continued to color. She wouldn't look at Madison or Richie, too occupied. Madison rested her elbows on both knees. Johanna. She glanced up and smiled. Madison smiled back. What else does Henry know about Olivia? She scrambled through the box of colors and picked up a different one. He won't tell me. Is Henry here? Richie asked. She nodded again. Madison leaned back and stared at Richie. She held onto his hand and held it tight. Henry, Richie said, if you're here, show us a sign. Madison felt her heart pound, having the feeling that someone was in the room with them. But she couldn't see anything. She squeezed Richie's hand tighter. Silence remained. Johanna continued to color as if it wasn't a bother to her. The chair by the little table scooted back as if someone was going to sit down. Madison jolted back and covered her mouth. Johanna didn't even blink or anything. She passed a crayon over to the empty seat. Here, Henry. Is blue okay? Richie rubbed her shoulder. It's okay. Do you want red? Johanna asked, holding the red color out in front of her, catching Madison's attention. After the chair moved, Madison didn't want to be there. She wanted to leave, but she had to find answers to why the witch killed Keegan, and if the two little girls were connected to it all. She turned the page to an empty one. He said not to be afraid. He won't hurt you. Who? Henry? Madison asked. She grabbed a large crayon big enough to fit in her small hand and nodded. Can you ask him a question for me? Richie asked. She colored with the purple and red crayon. Yeah. Can he please tell us where Olivia lives? She glanced over at the empty chair, then back at Madison and Richie. He won't tell me. Why not? Richie asked. He's afraid that she will go after Olivia than him. Who will go after her? Who will go after her? Madison asked. Tears traced down Johanna's cheeks. The witch? She killed Keegan, or Henry? Richie and Madison stared at each other. This was all too much to take in all at once. Things were starting to add up. Was it the same witch that killed Keegan and Terrence? All the doors in the house slammed shut. The blinds shook out of control, flapping as if the wind had caused it. Johanna screamed so loud she shot up from the chair, knocking it over. She grabbed onto Richie's jeans and pulled herself up onto his lap. She wrapped both arms around him and cried, She's here. She wouldn't let go of him. He held on to her and got up from the couch. Who's here? The witch. She's coming to take my soul. Richie grabbed the keys on the counter. No, she's not. Don't you believe that? Madison grabbed Johanna's bag with her stuff in it and followed Richie out to his truck. He handed Johanna over to Madison and started the truck and drove down the road. Chapter 40. Inga, a voice said from outside. She knew that voice. It was her, the good witch, Belinda. Come out here now, she yelled. Witch, she taunted her. Inga pushed the door open and stepped out onto the porch, then down the steps one at a time. Wait, watch my coffee. Watch my coffee and watch the camera. Inga pushed the door open and stepped out onto the porch, then down the steps one at a time. You old hag, Inga shouted back, as if they were two little kids calling each other names. Inga Black. How did you get here? Doesn't matter, witch. When I'm through with these children, I'm going to rip your heart out and feed it to the flying demons. I'd like to see that, Inga. You don't even have a heart or a soul. You don't even have a heart, a soul, or even a body. You're dead. And that's how it's going to be. Belinda lifted a hand and a ball of fire appeared in the middle of her palm and threw it right at Inga. Inga thought of herself to disappear, and she did just in time. The ball of fire hit the cabin as sparks appeared then vanished. Inga let herself reappear and grinned at Belinda. You may be alive, but I can still cause damage. She ran into the cabin and grabbed another red vial, like the one she had drank from before. She pulled the cap off, and right before it touched her lips, Belinda grabbed hold of it. Inga and Belinda were now eye to eye, face to face, good against evil in the mix. Let go of my vial, Inga screamed, clutching it tighter. No, Inga, I'm stopping you. I'm not going to let you hurt anybody else. Inga whacked Belinda in the stomach with a fist, then kneed her in the hip. Belinda fell to the floor where Peter and Joseph were standing. Peter, get her now, Inga yelled. Before Peter made a move, Belinda turned on one knee and a hand and said, Sorry, my love. She let a ball of white mist bolt from her palm. They both disappeared into thin air. No, Inga screamed. Where did you send them? Somewhere far away from here. Inga raised her hand towards the ashes in the fireplace and shot them towards Belinda. My turn. Belinda stood as she raised both hands, arms extended, fingers bent like claws. The ashes stopped in midair. Belinda smiled and took one step closer and formed the ashes into flames. My turn again. The flames formed a sharp point, then shot towards Inga. She raised both arms and crossed them over one another and formed a red flag to protect herself. The flames bounced off and disappeared. Belinda lowered her arms. No, that can't be. You're dead. You have no power. You see, Belinda, the more I fight you, the more I get from you. No, it can't be. Oh, but it is. Inga rushed towards Belinda and shoved her up against the wall and held a finger against her neck and pressed hard. You feel that, you hag? You like that? Inga held pressure until her energy died down and let go. You see, you can't even fight without strength, you witch. Belinda formed another ball of fire and threw 3 at her in a row. Inga disappeared each time, but with the last ball, it about hit her, and she evaporated just in time, then repeated behind Belinda. Inga grabbed her by the head of hair as Belinda turned around to face again. How are you getting along with my mystical, hag? She cackled. Maybe I should send it to that little Johanna girl. She has a body full of energy. Or maybe I should go. She shall make me stronger than you, she screeched. Then I can get rid of you, just like I did to your husband and unborn child. Belinda pushed her back against the wall. Don't you dare, Inga. I will dare, she grinned, then vanished in thin air. Her soul shall be mine, hag. Dun dun dun. Woo! That was a lot to take in. This is already 39 minutes. Wow. Batman, I need this. Thank you. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about, which I hope I make it short. Holy moly. Okay, so chapter 39. So we're in the middle of the book now. And when I was writing Johanna's character, I did not know that she was going to be a major character, main character in the story. And I did not know she was going... This just came off of Batman's nail. It's his nail. That's pretty cool. But I didn't know she was going to play, like, a big role in the book. I just added her for like another character that Richie can like talk about so I could develop his character. Well, then the two little girls started to show. And then Henry, because I remember right in this chapter, I remember that Richie and Madison went into the living room and Johanna started talking to Henry, and this was even before I wrote the chapter about the pictures that Johanna is drawing. And I was like, okay, so now Johanna's talking about Henry, and I was like, well, maybe I could play around with this. So I started to add that Johanna is a clairvoyant, and she can see the future, but through pictures. So whatever she sees, she draws it. So I was like, okay, I can play with that. So I started doing some research, and is starting to talk to Henry, which we all know from the first book that Henry is Olivia's ancestor. So I decided to have Johanna. I was going to have Johanna just be like a normal kid, you know? Well, I was watching a TV show called Psychic Kids, and they can like see ghosts and talk to them and see the future. So I started watching that TV show, and I was writing as much down as I could because I didn't really know too much about a clairvoyant, and I had to do a lot of research on that. And I think it's sort of the same thing like a medium and a psychic. A psychic is like my character Gina, which we do know Gina, and she is a paranormal researcher. She's a psychic and a medium. So I was like, okay, what about a clairvoyant? And I was like, okay, I can do some research on that. So I was like, so a clairvoyant can, they have feelings of, they can feel feelings from another person or spirit. So like if Johanna sees a spirit that died in a car crash, she can see the images in her head, and she can feel their pain. So, but she mostly can like draw down what she sees. So then after I decided, okay, I think I'm going to have her be a clairvoyant, well then after the first draft of the book was done, I started to do the second draft. And that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm going to have her draw pictures of what she sees. So I wrote the scene where Madison and Richie went to the school to pick up Johanna. And then Mrs. Collins, the teacher, said, I think you need to see something. And she shows Richie and Madison these drawings that Johanna did. And it concerned Richie. So he folds him up and takes him home. And then Madison's like, you know, we need to figure this out. We need to know like what happened to Keegan and Terrence, because they were both killed by the witch, but they don't know that just yet. But Madison does, but Richie doesn't. So they're playing with the Ouija board, and I thought playing with the Ouija board would be cool, but now, years later, I'm like, yeah, if someone recommended the Ouija board, I would say no. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You will open a portal that you can't close, and you will bring things in. I thought it would be nice to just either play it or have one. No. I don't want to see one. I don't want to touch it. I mean, if I saw one, I would just turn away because I thought they were like cool and interesting, but now I'm just like, no, I don't even want one in my apartment. I'm totally good with that. So anyways, so they're sitting at the table and they're playing with it, and 3 characters come through: Eleanor and Margaret and Henry. So in the previous chapter, I think Madison got a visit from Margaret and Eleanor, and they revealed a secret to Madison that the witch killed them. So Madison's like on a mission now. She wants to know who killed her brother. And now she thinks it was a witch that killed Keegan. Sorry, I'm getting all these characters mixed. It's a long series, people, okay? Just let me, okay? Like, I'm trying here. So she knows that the witch killed her brother Keegan. So she wants to know more answers. She wants to know why the witch is connected with the house, the 2 little girls. But you know who's Henry? Now there's Henry, and they don't know who that is. But they know there was a Olivia girl that's involved somehow. And Richie wants to know where she lives, and Henry won't tell him because Henry's afraid that the witch will come after Madison and Richie. So they're trying to, like, he doesn't want that to happen. But Madison is on a mission to find out who killed her brother, which is in the blurb here. Madison is on a mission to find who killed her brother, Keegan. She's joined by her longtime friend, Richie, somebody she can count on and trust. Together, they figure out the clues that leads to a witch, Inga. So, that's one of the things that is happening in the book right now. And then, anyways. But that chapter was a lot of fun to write. When I was writing the Ouija board scene, there's TV shows that I really love, like The Haunted, Celebrity Ghost Story, A Haunting, Psychic Kids. What was that other TV show that I watched? There's A Haunting and The Haunted. Those are my 2 favorite. They're based on true stories. Like A Haunting, they're like people, like the actual true people are telling their story, but there's people, like actors, like acting it out while they're telling their story. And that's kind of with The Haunted too. And then there's Celebrity Ghost Stories where these celebrities really did like encounter ghosts, and there's actors playing it out while they're telling their story. So those 3 are like my favorites. So I watched those TV shows when I was working on this series, which the Wish is right under there. But I think you can tell that Mystical was the last book, and it became thicker than the others. So I'm just like excited to get Awakened Evil done. And then it's the color of my shirt. Yep, it is. So I'm just so excited to start working on this one. And this book is 473 pages. Whoa. And then this one is 456 pages. Wow. So anyways, I had a lot of fun doing those. Doing those chapters, and I'm just excited for you guys to see the hardbacks for The Wish and the other one. I don't want to say until like they get here. Like the other one I'm really excited about. So, but that's it for this video. Now I'm going to figure out what I need to work on my Metamorphosis book. I've been having writer's block a lot, And I had a friend, Ramon, help me a little bit with the final book. He gave me some good ideas. I'm going to work around with some of them. But I'm just struggling, like, with the other characters. I'm trying to figure out, like, how their story should go in Crowned. Like, I think I'm going to have, like... Oh, shit. I just accidentally revealed one of the book covers. Whoopsie. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about that series. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, crap. Okay. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. And this Friday... No, wait. I'm sorry. Wednesday, I will read chapters 35 and 36 on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Hopefully I won't be late reading it, because today I was, and I apologize. And then November the 19th chapter, I'll be reading chapters 37 and 38. This Friday, Candy is closed, so I'll probably read at 4. I better change that now. 4 o'clock. There we go. Yeah. Oh, wait. Crap. I shouldn't have changed that one. Okay, I'll change that in a minute. Crap. Okay, so thank you all so much for... Whoa. Sorry, I was moving my iPad, my tripod. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really want to know what you guys think of my display here. I'm in love with it. I put that there because that's the book that I'm reading right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this like this, and I'm going to change this out, and I'm going to do, I'm going to get one with this book cover. I'm going to put it right there, and then I'm going to get it for this. So I'm just excited to, yeah, I do need to order this with Wicked, Curse, and Mystical. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Bye. 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 Bye.